Hey guys, it's Chris with Fort Park Real Estate here. What I'm going to talk to you about today is strata landmines. So when you're buying a strata, things to watch out for, things that where you can really lose a lot of money, and just to give you a heads up on. So the top things out of all of it, the number one thing you have to look for when you're buying a strata property is a CRF. So check out how much is in the CRF, and if it's being managed properly, if there's money's being added to it, or if it's being depleted quickly. And really you have to match that up to a depreciation report. If your strata has a depreciation report, you'll see how much is going to be expensed over the next few years, and make sure there's enough in that CRF, or else that's going to ultimately come out of your pocket. So that's a big thing to watch for. The other big things, number one is elevator. Elevators can really add up, I've talked about it before, to a lot of money. They can be $500,000 to replace, and you need to replace them, modernize them every 25 to 30 years. So if the building you're buying in is around that age and the elevator hasn't been replaced, get ready, because that's going to cost you in a special assessment, or it's going to be coming out of the CRF if you have the funds there. The other really big item, even bigger than elevators, is the building envelope. So buildings that were built in the late 80s, early 90s, very often weren't rain screened. Was, for whatever reason, it was kind of the thing at the time. And there are persistent mold issues in a lot of these buildings that didn't have rain screens put on them. So that's something that's going to need to be remediated. It means pulling off the cladding, putting on a rain screen. Sometimes there's mold underneath. It can get into the insulation and into the studs and the wood, and maybe even into the drywall. So that can be really disastrous if you're not very careful about what you're looking for there. Roofs also are another huge thing that can really add up to a lot of money. Replacing a roof can be very expensive on some of these big buildings. So watch for that. Make sure they're going to need to be replaced again every 25 to 30 years. And the other thing that you may not even think about is the plumbing. So if the building was built back in the 90s or earlier, it probably had copper plumbing, which is okay, but very often they start developing pinhole leaks, and eventually that needs to be replaced with some form of plastic piping. PEX very often is used. So that can cost you like $10,000, $20,000 for just your suite in a big multi-million-dollar project like that. So hopefully I've helped you guys avoid a few really big potential pitfalls when you're buying a strata property. If you want a little bit more detail, check out the blog that we've written below, and hope that helps you a little bit.